Here, what's going on? Send my partner this link. You know he should have it. We'll send it to him anyway, just in case. I think it's the same link. That's okay. That's all right. What the hell? Yes, leave. Oh, that's why. What's going on? Pre-show, welcome to the pre-show. We are I am looking at my stuff. It's not working. I don't know why it's not working. But anyway, how y'all doing? How's every little thing? We got so much to talk about. We got some congratulations to talk about. We got soon as the season over, we got to talk about some fucking football. We got basketball business. The draft is next. Like, as soon as the season over, we got to talk about the draft. So yeah, I'm good. I'm trying to send you the link right now. I don't know why it's not going. But let's see. Let's see if I could do it this way. Why it's not coming on? Bear with me, folks. I gotta make sure my partner is okay. There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking with gasoline here. There we go. And he should be joining me shortly. So, without any further ado, once I see him, we will play the disclaimer, and everything's all gravy. So, yeah, he is. So, let's do this like Brutus. Put that disclaimer on. Let's fucking go.
Draft day dreams, players rise and fall. Every underdog story, we're given the call. Strategies and highlights, we'll break down it all. With Enforcer on the beat, we're having the ball. So grab your headphones, let's kick it right. Together we'll unravel the Friday night hype. With laughter and insights, we're taking flight. On the Self-Made Podcast, the future is bright. Talking football, all year that's our creed. With every episode, together we lead. Self-Made Podcast, planted like a seed. In the world of the game, we'll always succeed.
Yeah, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. He's here. We got a lot to talk about. D-Money's here. What's going on? You had to give me that last one, but we're gonna squeeze that in some way, somehow. So we gotta talk about basketball first, because that's a lot of shit we gotta talk about basketball. of course, we're gonna have to say our congratulations to OKC.
The champs.
They are the champs. It took them 7 games, but they are the champs.
Yeah, that's ain't that kind of weird though? 2 years in a row, the actual favorite to win the championship won the championship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The team that was no one seed for most of the damn season.
I mean, they was good last year though, so I think they deserve it.
Hey, they right now enjoying themselves. They got the parade they doing right now. Well, I
Hey,
think.
as long as the bitch ass Pacers ain't win, I'm cool as a fan.
Hey, oh man, we definitely got to talk about that. So they won. This man right here. Oh, let me say this too. They are the second youngest team to win a championship since the
Who was the
77
youngest?
Trailblazers.
Who was the youngest?
The Trailblazers in 77.
Okay.
So congratulations to them. Now, me and my wife had a discussion about this. It's like, oh, they won a championship, so that's the second championship in the franchise. I said no.
I thought it was the first.
It is the first. They did not carry the Supersonics history to OKC.
2 different teams.
2 different teams. So and they're trying to do the Cleveland Brown thing anyway, trying to bring back the Supersonics. So that don't count. This is their first official championship, which means this young man right here, you can say he's the first to do it since they counted MVPs for the Eastern Conference Championship. But I'll tell you right now, if it was one back then, Jordan would have been the first.
So my question to you is: he the greatest Oklahoma City Thunder ever?
Damn.
You got Harden. You got You got what's your boy? Um,
Westbrook.
You got Durant.
Durant.
Those are pretty much the 3 best
Right.
OKC players ever, besides Shea. So, who's your greatest ever?
I mean, he's up there now, ain't he? Like,
I think I gotta say him, even though Harden, with all those scoring titles, will probably be in the Hall of Fame, no problem. Westbrook with all the triple doubles will be in the Hall of Fame. Durant will be in the Hall of Fame.
Here's my thing with
SGA just getting started.
But here's my thing with Harden. Harden didn't start being Harden until he left OKC.
Nah, yeah, he didn't start being, because he had to share with Westbrook and he had to share with what's him called.
I mean, he did win the 6th man of the year, come off the bench. He did do that.
If he could have played, like he played in the regular season and the postseason, they'd have won a ring.
Yeah.
Because they had Serge Ibaka in his prime. They had a squad.
I still keep Durant on it because Durant actually brought a lot of attention to OKC. And yeah, they went to the finals. All 3 went to the finals, but this man actually sealed the deal. So yeah,
I give it to Shea because Shea didn't go off and join a super team to try to win a ring. So I give it to Shea because if you look at Durant's career outside of Golden State, what has he accomplished besides a bunch of points?
Yeah. Yeah, we all over the place, so we're gonna get to all that. But yeah, I mean, shout out to Shea. He's the MVP of all MVPs.
He won every award he could win this year, and I'm proud of him.
And the major one.
And they didn't go out and buy a team, so to speak. They signed a few role players. Everything else came from the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So I respect them, and I'm proud of that fact for them. They're a smaller market team. They don't have the money other teams have, and their GM is amazing. Do you know in 2026 they have 4 first-round picks?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you just won a champion. You just won a ring, and you still got so much capital. Like, it's crazy.
That's amazing.
They got so much draft capital. It's retarded.
That is amazing, bro. That's amazing for OKC. Okay, before we go to the next thing, repeat? Or is it too early to say that?
It's the problem with saying it now is you don't know what other teams are about to do before this draft, after the draft, and signing free agents and all of that. So you can't really jump out like you don't know if Giannis is going to join the team and make him turn it into a super team or anything like that. So it's hard to say at this point. But if everybody's roster is the same right now, I I put them top three at least.
Ah, nice. Okay. Okay. Now
At least.
we gotta bring the downside of this whole situation. So the latest Agent Zero with a torn Achilles. But I think a question you had was, what does this do for the Eastern Conference now?
I was being called insensitive yesterday when I said that that he
Damn.
was I said he was doing that same choke sign when he was holding his Achilles together. So I was called insensitive for that.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck because I just don't like him. I just don't like him, so I don't give a fuck.
Wow.
But yeah, the East is pretty all right. So the East is hurt in terms of strong talent and top tier teams. Because
Mhm,
pretty much last year, if you really want to call it, it was really just the top four coming out of the East that really had a chance to really do something.
mhm.
It was the Cavs, it was the Celtics, it was the Knicks, and it was the Pacers. Outside of that, you didn't really take any of them other teams serious.
Right.
You ain't take the Magic serious. You ain't take the Bucks serious. You ain't take none of them other teams serious in terms of being a contender to actually make it to the end.
Mhm,
So they was already top heavy. Now you got no Tatum. So does Boston fall down? You got no Halliburton. Pacers definitely fall down. Well, I'm not gonna say that because they could go out and find a point guard.
right.
You know what I mean? Somebody to just run the team that can score. Ain't you can't count anybody out just yet. But let's just say these teams lost significant parts of their squad that helped them be contenders. Um,
Especially the Pacers. Like,
yeah, we saw in the playoffs, Jalen Brown ain't ready to be the number one guy. He didn't do shit after Tatum got hurt. It was more Derek White than Brown.
right.
Um, the Anthony Simmons signing was cool. He can shoot threes, he can score, he doesn't play defense. And it's pretty much a 1 year rental. So it's a smart deal because you know you're gonna get Tatum back in a year. So you can decide to keep him or decide to let him go. They fleeced the shit out of the Trailblazers.
Mm.
You got two picks and a young player on an expiring contract for Drew Holiday, who's coming off the bench and playing maybe 10 minutes a game. And like how?
Let me see.
But yeah, the East. See, the West is way strong. The West was always considered stronger than the East, but now it's just going to be ridiculous with all these injuries to key players in the East.
Which, since you talked about trades, let's start with the major one that you hit me up first with. We got an answer from last week. Hold up, there it is. We got an answer from last week. Where was KD going? Well, he's going to the fucking Rockets.
Well, we knew it would happen before the draft. We knew it had to happen before the draft. They needed to include this year's draft pick. Now, how does he fit the Rockets? And does the people they gave away to get him hurt the team? I'm going to say no. And the reason I say no, it doesn't hurt the team. And yes, it's a good fit is because the Rockets was missing offense. KD is going to give you 25 points a game at least.
Uh-huh.
And they were missing offense. So now you put him, you put Sangoon, and what's the young kid name that they got? You put those three together. Now you got your three main components for the team. I mean, you lose some toughness with Dylan Brooks being gone, and you don't know what you would have got with that number 10 pick. but this is pretty much an all-in move. And
For one,
I'm not sure if they're ready to be an all-in team.
so what's so? I mean, for a
Because
team,
I mean, if you keep it funky too, Kevin Durant doesn't have to re-sign with them because this is his last year on that contract.
I was
So
just
they
about
could have traded all of that for nothing.
I was just about to ask you, what's the? This is only a 1 year deal.
Yeah, they're trying to get an extension done, and that's pretty much up to him because he can become a mercenary. He can not re-sign with them and go wherever he wants to go next year. Say he always dreamed of playing with LeBron. He could go to the Lakers on a cheaper deal and play with LeBron and Luca. Like it's up to him what he wants to do after this.
What's going on? Uh, so, question. So, what does this? I mean, I don't know how many. What does this do for his legacy? But
Well, his legacy, I'd have to say his legacy is just a phenomenal scorer at this point because you're not gonna give him credit for the ring. I mean, I'm not gonna say you're not gonna give him credit for the rings he got, but I mean, ain't nobody really looking at him like he earned those. You went to a team that already had what 3 rings when you got there, or 2 rings when you got there, and you won a ring with them. Like, ain't
baby,
nobody really looking at you like you was the reason they won, even though you was the MVP in the finals for them.
so
Ain't nobody looking at you like you was the reason. Like just like Draymond said, we was winning rings before you got here.
all right. So they won one, and when they lost that big one, it was 73-9. And
Hmm.
LeBron came back. That's when they got him. They won 2 more. Then when he left, so I think they won one more.
Yeah, they won without him. They
Won
won
without
one
him. So
without him.
yeah, you did that. The team was already based for winning. It was already
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you judge? What do you base his legacy off of? I mean, you could base his legacy off of him being one of the best scorers ever the league has ever seen. He's walking buckets. You
so
give him that, but you can't base it on him being a great rebounder. He's never been that. You can't base it on him being a great assist guy. He's never been that. All you could base it on is him scoring. You know what I mean? And then you're not really gonna give him that much credit for them rings because, like I said, the team was winning before you got there, and they won after you left.
good segue. Where I was going, what I really want to talk about, but you also put this picture up here at the Rockets.
That's hilarious, ain't it? The Rockets signed all 3 of them.
And can you
And
imagine the Rockets for some? Let's say they would have had all 3 of them with the Rockets uniform though at the same time. That'd be one hell of a reunion.
would have been. I
Would
mean,
have.
still can be.
Yeah, yeah. So now we were just talking about rings and stuff. So I gotta talk about this. This was like the topic of topics this past week. So let me just give you this clip.
A ring is a team accomplishment. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport and why it's the all be all of everything. Or if you won one, then you can't be in the same conversation with this person. I don't know, man. It's just like you sit here and tell me, Allen Iverson and Charles Barkley and Steve Nash. Oh, they can't be talked about or discussed with these guys is because this guy won 1 ring or won 2 rings. I don't understand where it came from. I don't know where it started, but like trying to nitpick an individual because he was not able to win a team game. Yeah, it's just so weird. It's never enough.
Oh, we were just talking about this about Kevin Durant's legacy. He won 2, but he's a scorer. Everybody, I think a lot of people taking this the wrong way for what LeBron's saying. What's your take on it before we go to the next?
I agree with LeBron in a way. I don't think it should take away from a player's greatness. Like if Kevin Durant never, I think I would respect Durant more if he didn't go to Golden State and do what he did in terms of trying to win a ring.
Right.
Because to me, you're at that point you're a mercenary. But it was just the way he was acting before he went to Golden State and all that. That turned me off in terms of him going in and winning a ring. It was just his persona and his personality for me personally.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So, because I don't knock players that do it. Shit, Dion did it. Dion's the greatest corner ever to live. He
Yep.
went to the Niners. He went to the Cowboys. He was a mercenary for a while.
Yeah.
And he's the greatest corner to ever play. Maybe one of the greatest football players to ever play.
Right.
So I'm not knocking Durant. Like I said, me personally, I would look at and for some reason it's just based off of Durant. Like I've seen other players go to other teams. Like nobody, I didn't knock LeBron when he joined up with Wade and them. And then you got to remember, Wade already had a ring before LeBron and them got there, so he helped them. He helped them. They didn't help him.
Right. Right.
You know, so I think the reason I knock Durant more is because you wasn't successful nowhere else. You joined, and when I say successful, I mean winning the championship.
Right.
You couldn't do that with nobody else. You had to join a team that was already winning them, that didn't really need you to win them, but you made it so much easier for them.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But when you went to Brooklyn, look at the talent you had around you, and you couldn't do it. When you was in OKC, look at the talent you had around you, and you couldn't do it. You know what I mean? He's never been on a bad team. He's never been, in terms of talent, he's never been on a bad team. He should have more rings than he got. He's never been on a bad team, bro. When he was in Brooklyn, you had Kyrie and Harden.
Yeah. You
When
should
you
have.
was in OKC, you had Westbrook, Harden, and Ibaka. You was on the Suns, you had Bill and Booker. Like he's been on some mega teams his entire career.
So here's why I agree with him, and then I go look at LeBron. Like LeBron, he kind of did the same thing.
He's kind of contradicting himself.
Right. You kind of did the same thing, but I agree with you on that because, like we always talk about.
The only reason
NBA.
the only reason I can't say he's contradicting himself because before he went to Miami, he was already in the championship game.
Yeah.
You know?
But see, that's the same thing we can say about Kevin. Kevin was in the finals too with OKC. They lost to the Lakers.
Yeah.
You know, LeBron was in with Cleveland took that Cleveland team. Y'all remember that Cleveland team to the finals and got swept by the Spurs. I mean, I've seen it. We've seen it. I mean, I could name names of a superstar or a Hall of Famer that went to a team that was already established and won a championship. Clyde Drexler could name one that went to Houston just to get the ring. He already had Hall of Fame written on him. He just need a ring. I could name that. I go on football. We just named Dion. We named Saquon went to the Eagles and they got their ring. You know, it's some people want that they want to be a champion. Like,
yeah, because then it's undeniable when you trying to get into the Hall of Fame and you getting all these awards. It's undeniable when you have a ring already. Like, okay, Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest arm talents we've ever seen. But career-wise, all he got is a bunch of regular season wins. When you look at his playoff record, it ain't shit.
And
You would think with all those with all those number one seeds and first round buys, you would think he would have more than one ring. He got one ring. What would we be saying about him if he didn't have that one ring?
We call him Dan Marino too.
Exactly. But then if you look at Dan Marino, he probably the greatest arm in NFL history.
He only had one opportunity.
So you can't take. For me, I can't take away from a player's talent. Like even though I don't like Durant, he's a surefire first ballot Hall of Fame in my book.
Yeah.
I don't have to like him to know that. He's guaranteed to be in the Hall of Fame first ballot before anybody in his age bracket, year that he came out, all of that shit. He's guaranteed to be in there.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the one thing I say that a ring. Sometimes a ring don't guarantee you a Hall of Fame because there's a lot of people that got rings and they didn't do shit to get it. Are you gonna tell me that J.R. Smith is gonna be Hall of Fame?
Absolutely not. But you gotta have the
You know?
you gotta have the career to go with it.
Right,
That's
right.
what I'm
So
saying. If somebody has a career, somebody has an amazing career and no ring, it's slightly harder for them to get in over somebody that had an amazing career and has a ring.
unless they made some type of history that you cannot deny them. We just like I just said, Dan Marino. Dan Marino broke a record that they didn't think was going to be broken. How he did it. He broke. He was. Dude retired #1 all the way through. This before
Yeah.
this before the NFL was pass happy. So the NFL was run, 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 then pass. He changed that shit. Like, nah, we throwing the first fucking down. You know what I mean? So him and then you got Brett Favre. I always say this: Brett Favre, you lucky you got that one ring. In my opinion, Brett Favre, but in basketball, I'm sorry, it's hard for me to say a person they think, especially they get a ring, not gonna be a Hall of Fame. He named Charles
No,
Barkley, Allen Iverson.
I think basketball is way easier to get into the Hall of Fame than the
Right,
NFL.
right.
Because in basketball, like Carmelo ain't never accomplished shit but a bunch of points.
Hmm.
He's never been a great rebounder, never been a great passer, none of that shit. But he's an amazing scorer, just like Durant. They are both guaranteed to get into the Hall of Fame for that fact alone.
Right,
You
right.
can't do that in the NFL and other sports. You gotta actually have some other stats with you.
Bro, and that might be next show. I might have to get ready for the NFL. Those gonna be some good questions. But
Yeah.
since we talking about Durant, I just had a picture up here not that long ago. How does the Suns look now without him?
Well, you're never gonna get better when you move off of a player like Durant.
Hmm.
The Suns right now have too many what ifs. What if you find somebody stupid enough to take Bradley Beal's contract and you can trade him? What if Jalen Green becomes more of a consistent player? Because for most of the season, in terms of scoring, he was giving you at least 18 a game.
Hmm.
So what if he steps up and becomes a wingman to Devin Booker? Because it's Devin Booker's team. It has been since he got there.
Right.
But now what do? Yes, Dylan Brooks gives you some toughness defensively and all that, but he's not a prolific scorer like Durant. Neither is Green. So you're gonna lose those points. So Devin Booker's gonna have to go off every night for y'all to have a chance. Y'all gonna have to bring somebody else in there to help out.
Yeah.
Because you need scoring because you never know when Bradley Beal is gonna play. And even if he does play, it's not like he dropping 20. He might give you 10 if you're lucky.
Oh man.
So you kind of needed Durant for them to be good. And you got 5 second-round picks. You gotta pray them players pan out because it's gonna be a bunch of G League players if not.
Jeez.
So they didn't get better by trading Durant. Personally, I'd have rather tried anything under the sun to get rid. I'd have gave you a first-round pick if you took Bill from us
Speaking,
and
speaking of that,
kept Durant.
you did drop me off with Suns since I couldn't put the picture up. I'm gonna put the breaking news on here. You gave me this New Orleans Pelicans are trading CJ McCollum and a future second rounder to Washington for Jordan Poole. Who that? Sadie Bay.
And so they and Poole for I think Olenek
40 pick and
for
the 40th pick.
Olenek. What is it? Olenek, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The crazy part, didn't they just trade Olenek to them? I think they just traded Olenek to the Pelicans.
And he's going right back to the Pelicans. So.
I know he hurt. I know his heart hurt.
I mean, bro, listen.
Hey, the Knicks got their #1 pick next year?
Who, the Pelicans?
Yeah, no, the Washington. Knicks got Washington's first-round pick next year.
What was that? Thank you.
Thank you. That's why everybody was talking about how the Knicks gave up so much to get Bridges. They still got a bunch of picks.
Just like who you said, the Thunder too. This guy.
But hold on, but back to that trade.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't. It's kind of like an even who cares trade because Poole is pretty much a streaky 3-point shooter. He's not giving you much more than that. Um, Olenek is a good rebounder and can score 12 to 16 maybe.
Mhm.
Um, Bay is inconsistent and McCollum is always hurt. So, like, what do you do with that trade? Like, neither team really got better, neither team really got worse, and neither team is gonna do anything anyway.
Mhm.
That's how you looking at it. Like, neither team, it was like two bad teams trading with each other mean nothing to nobody, unless one of them is gonna buy out some of those contracts so they can clear cap space, and then those players go to actual contenders. None of those trades mean a thing.
Well,
This guy. It's weird. It's weird. You see all of these stories about him being on a strict diet. They're not telling you. They're saying he lost a significant amount of weight, but they're not telling you how much. They're saying he's on a strict diet, but they're not telling you what he's eating or what he cut out. All they saying he's on a strict diet and he's lost weight.
have we seen a picture of him?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like we don't even know if the story is all the way true or not. All we doing is hearing what they saying.
Uh,
Maybe they're trying, maybe that's the hype. They're trying to, like you don't want to come out. You want everybody to wait for you to walk in the door and make your appearance.
right, right. I mean, let's go history with it now. We've seen some players that when they did lose weight, they came out doing some amazing things. And then you had some people that said, "Fuck you, I'm not losing this weight." Like,
Randall looked decent when he lost the weight. He lost some weight. Um, I think it's harder for certain positions. Like as a big man losing weight I don't see that helping you except for less weight on your knees and feet or something like that. But you need that big body to bang with people in the paint.
I mean, historically, the only person that comes to my mind that like lost weight and improved was Charles.
Yeah.
When Charles lost that weight, that dude was MVP, right? But he gained back. Like now, someone that need to be on a strict diet, I'm going to say to the Zion, boy,
Yeah, man.
you put gravy on everything, bro. I'm
I
telling
just wish he would get it together. Shit, I hope the Knicks trade for his ass and
you,
put him at the 5.
bro, that'd be a beast. But I want to see how you look, Luca. I want to see this strict diet is
Oh,
true.
we gonna see. I don't really think Luca's biggest problem is his weight. I think it's more his conditioning than anything else.
Hmm.
I know fat niggas that are in good shape, conditioning wise, they can run up and down the court. I
Work
think
on your damn
Luca's more about. I think Luca going to smoke a cigarette after the game. He look like he smoked a Marlboro or something after the game. It don't even look like he trying. Because when you that talented, how much more effort do you need to put in, really?
right.
Like everybody's not LeBron and Tom Brady that's just taking care of their body 24/7 and eating avocado ice cream.
Ice cream, bro.
Yeah, like everybody's not putting millions into their body like these dudes.
This happened today, as you was
They
just talking
just
about
the
earlier.
Celtics just out here robbing people with no mask, no gun, no knife, no nothing.
Oh, how you rank this trade though? Like, was
How
it?
do
Is
the
it?
trail? What was the Trailblazers doing when they made this trade? Like you just gave away your number 2 player
Mm.
to bring in somebody off of their bench.
So now, when you say that, I remember when Holiday was with the Bucks. He was a defensive
He
presence.
was younger. Brunson abused him in the playoffs again in that series.
Yeah.
They was throwing him and Derek White at him. Brunson was dropping 40 on these dudes. You
Well,
thinking he's supposed to be a shutdown defender. He's not what he used to be. That's the problem. He used to be a 3-point. He could knock down open threes with no problem. He's not doing none of that no more.
so pretty much the Blazers got robbed, like you just said.
He's not totally washed up, but what was the point of this trade? You just traded your number 2 player for a bench player off of another team. that's older, slower, and not as efficient on either side of the ball.
Ooh.
And you gave up two. I think they gave up 2 second-round picks to
Um,
get him. Why are you doing all? And do you know how valuable an expiring contract is in the NBA? Like you could have got way more than a washed up old nigga and 2 second-round picks for a young player that can shoot threes.
why you gotta be a washed up old nigga though? Why?
Bro, I watched him in that series against the Knicks. He's done.
oh, oh, you should back him
I
up.
don't think he can. I don't think he can start anymore.
Maybe that's why he's on the bench. He might be on the bench of the Blazers.
Then why would you trade your starter for a bench player?
I hope. Listen, before I even go there, what's going on here?
He's next. And crazy part, from what I'm hearing, the team that's asking about him the most is the Spurs. So they try to put him and Wemby together. That would be just
They trying to repeat history.
the Twin Towers.
Yeah, they trying to repeat. I mean, it might work.
Porzingis ain't never healthy, bro. It's a waste of time.
Uh,
Never healthy. You in the playoffs with a sickness, nobody know. You can't tell nobody what it is. What that nigga? What he got the You got that hip? What he got going on that y'all can't tell nobody? What's a HIPAA violation? He went and contracted some shit and y'all can't tell us.
He got the package. That's what he got.
He got something. He got the clap. He got the clap. They need to give him a shot and get him back on the court. He let one of these chicks burn his ass.
So we should expect an answer where he's going by tonight.
Should be tonight, early tomorrow. Between tonight and tomorrow, it's about to be a bunch of moves made. I saw a trade that, oh my God, I wish I sent it to you and I would love for it to happen. It was like a 3-way trade where the Knicks get Sabonis from what team Sabonis on? Utah? One of them trash teams. The Knicks get Sabonis and send Karl Anthony Towns somewhere. And then the other team gets players and a bunch of first-round picks. Man, if that trade could happen, oh my God. I would love Sabonis in that offense.
We're going to finish this off with the draft. We just got finished with the NBA, and we about to.
I love the way they do it. I mean, the NFL is big on marketing, so they want the suspense. They push everything out, couple months here, couple months there, so they do it on purpose. But the NBA get right to it. As soon as the draft is over, trades the same night.
All right,
Next
they don't
morning.
have no time to waste. Their shit. I think after the draft, they go right to camp, G leagues.
They get right to it.
Right to it.
We get the summer league. They control the whole summer with the summer league.
Right.
Then they let the NFL have a couple months before they jump right back in.
That's crazy. Here's the order. The first 14, of course. Cooper Rush is the topic. They just guarantee he's gonna be a Maverick. So
yeah, that's the way it looks right now.
Whew. The Mavericks get him. This young man with the Rutgers jersey.
But is Kyrie even coming back next year? Because he tore his ACL kind of late in the season. Was it his ACL or his Achilles?
I think it was ACL.
Either or, he ain't gonna be back this season.
I'm gonna say it was Achilles. You know that's a whole year off, at least.
Yeah, so I don't think he'll be back this season.
So with the teams you see right now, as we see, the Spurs is up there twice, by the way.
Yeah, they got 2 and 14, I think.
Yeah. Any of these teams you see gonna make some noise next year?
Well, let's start by saying how the NBA champion Thunders are trying to move into the top 10.
Why?
They see somebody they like that they feel like can help them win another one.
So you gonna get He's gonna
And
get rid of it.
I can only assume that this draft class is stronger than next year would be the only reason for them to do it.
So they're gonna sacrifice the picks they got next year.
They got 4 first rounds next year. That's a lot. You might only have to give up 2 to move up.
Shit.
Still gonna have 2. What I mean, think about it. You already have a made team. What are you gonna do with all 4 players? Even if you draft 4 first rounders next year, what are you gonna do with all 4 of them? You can only have but so many players on the team.
Right.
They just seem like a team that's gonna be young forever,
Yeah.
but talented and young, not just young. Like it's young teams that never get this far.
hmm
They're gonna be talented and young.
Which is also scary. Or everybody all tired and
NFL,
puffy.
NBA better figure something out to stop them.
I mean
They've been stockpiling first round picks for years.
that's genius.
They got first round picks for Chris Paul. They got picks for Kevin George. Paul George. They got picks for all of these dudes that they've been letting go. They ended up getting Shea in the deal for Paul George.
That's genius, man.
And now look at Paul George and look at Shea. I know they feel stupid. The Clippers are dumb.
Yeah. And then no disrespect to Paul, but man,
Yes, disrespect to Paul. You always hurt, you bum.
that's why I was going. I was trying to be nice. I'm trying to go be a different guy when it comes to you motherfuckers. Because Paul, you on the podcast scene now. You talking a lot of shit, and like you still a guy like that. Like, I can see Carmelo talk the shit because I think Carmelo could still roast some of these people that's in the league. But no, I don't. But we are done with the NBA. We're gonna go with baseball because this is a football show, so we're gonna leave football last. Oh, baseball. These are the records as of right now. Y'all, Mets is a game and a half behind Philly. Where did Philly come up? Where the fuck did Philly come out of nowhere?
They was always right behind us. I think they was like 5 games behind us. But we've been hurt. We lost 2 starters and maybe 3 relievers.
Yeah, at least the Braves still like way
Yeah,
behind.
that's all I care about. That's all I care about.
That's in the East. We got the Central. Those Cubs are still on top, but not that far behind us. The Milwaukee Brewers and the Cardinals and the Reds. So it's a tight race. Pittsburgh is like they out of it.
They've been out of it.
Yeah. The West, of course, the Dodgers, but again, tight race. Giants and the Padres, their rivals right behind them. Arizona, they're not out, but they're not looking.
They're not as good.
Yeah. But here's the wild card. Listen, if the playoffs start now, y'all definitely got the wild card. The Mets got the wild card. Giants, Brewers, and Cardinals. Well, again, another tight race for these motherfuckers because the Padres, the Reds, the Diamondbacks, even the Braves.
They have a chance. They got Acuna back, so their offense is better than it was.
Who?
The Braves.
Oh. Well, we almost at R-Star time, so that's when shit start cooking. AL, of course, we are in a tight race. Those Rays would not let us breathe. But the Red
y'all
Sox
had that 10-game losing streak that hurt y'all, and let the Rays catch up.
Yeah,
just like us and the Phillies, the same shit. We had a 10-game losing streak and let them catch up.
You'd think though, when you say that, you think the Red Sox would have been behind us. The Rays is starting to be on my goddamn.
Red Sox been hurt and they ain't got no offense, and then they traded one of their best offensive players, so they might have knocked themselves out of it with that stupid move.
I don't know. We'll see. I hope so. Oh, the Central Detroit's still in charge of that thing. The Guardians is the closest team to them, but it needs
Detroit running away with Detroit running away with that thing.
Yeah, like I said, that's a slump in the. I'm sorry, I'm not used to calling them Guardians. I used to call them Indians. All right, but unless the Cleveland get a little rally going, they might be back in the conversation. In the West, Houston. is in charge. Cincinnati, not Cincinnati, Seattle is behind them 4.5 games. Los Angeles Angels 7, the Rangers 7.5. The Athletics
And
is just out of it. Just
Angels are trash.
yeah, you don't like the Angels? For the wild card of the AL, it's pretty much look at this. Yo, this is too tight, yo. This is too tight. Seattle, Blue Jays, and the Rays top 3, but everybody else is like still in the hunt. So yeah, those are the standings now. These are the games tonight. You got the Rangers against the Orioles in Baltimore. Arizona is in Chicago for the White Sox. Oakland A's is in Detroit. Pittsburgh and Milwaukee. Toronto and Cleveland. The Cubs rivalry game. Cubs against the Cardinals. Those damn Braves I was just talking about is in New York, in the city. Phillies against Houston. Oh, we're in Cincinnati. Yankees in Cincinnati. Dodgers, y'all better sweep the Rockies. Tampa Bay and Kansas City. Boston and Los Angeles. Seattle is in Minnesota. Washington is in San Diego. And Miami is in San Francisco. Got anything to say about these games?
Should be a good night.
Should be. I know New York we rocking. When the Braves come to times, a lot of hatred in that stadium. A lot of hatred. I'm not gonna forget it a long time ago. A lot of hatred. It was Shea Stadium or Citi Field. It's always some brave motherfucker that say something the wrong time. So we got Cincinnati. I don't know how bad that shit gonna be, but it did step it up. Well, we're done with baseball. We always quick with baseball unless it's something good to talk about. We're gonna talk about football. We're gonna talk about rookie. They got paid.
The highest contract in rookie history for a number 2 pick. Yeah, he get like 31 of that guaranteed though. It ain't like it's the whole thing.
I know, but still, like, he didn't do nothing yet.
And you know what? It'd be a lot of veteran players that resent rookie players for that. Like right now, the only thing they talk about at Jaguars camp is this guy. Like you got Brian Thomas, who had an amazing year last year.
Mm-hmm.
You got Trevor Lawrence coming off an injury. You got a brand new head coach, and he's the only thing you hear about.
And with this money, is he playing both sides of the field?
It sounds like he's going to, but not the entire game. Sounds like they're gonna have packages for him.
So they're gonna give him the prime time package.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
All right. Good for you. Congratulations, and no hate over here. Make your money, bro.
I hope he lives up to this contract, because boy, I'll tell you, they're gonna be talking about. And this is the crazy part. Have you even heard Cam Ward's name since the draft?
No,
not once. It's the first time in It's the first time in history I've never heard anything about the number 1 pick like the entire offseason.
You know what? To me, that's a good thing for Cam. That's a good thing.
It's great for Cam because it lowers the expectations, but you already have expectations being the number 1 pick.
Right. But it's just it tells you like, okay, he's number 1 pick. Well, you got all these. You got Shador. You got him. You got shit going on in New York. You got all these veterans.
The only thing
fucking moves.
But I'm a little worried about it in a sense of, are you doing anything to stand out in camp? Because if they're not talking about you at all, I don't look at that as a good sign.
Who did they pick up? Didn't they pick up a veteran? Or they gonna start him week 1?
It's a battle between him and Will Levis.
Oh, he got that.
Exactly.
That's week 1
But
start.
it's weird that you haven't heard anything about him. Like you heard a little Jackson Dart here. You hear about Shador every day.
Yeah.
Like you even hear about what's the other guy, that Gabriel. You haven't heard a word about Cam Ward.
That's wow. I mean, we just gotta see. I think I
We
think
gotta wait and see.
I'm gonna quote one of your posts. This is preseason gonna have the highest selling tickets this year.
Oh yeah,
A
because
lot
you
of
want to
preseason
see.
games gonna be sold the
I'm
fuck out.
if they were smart, the NFL would have figured out a way for the Browns and the Titans to play in the preseason.
If y'all make that happen, it gotta be the third preseason
Bro,
where
that
the
would have
rookies
that
play the whole game.
that would have been it would have got Super Bowl ratings.
Yeah,
That
that's
would have
yo.
got Super Bowl ratings.
Everybody knows the third preseason game that used to be the fourth preseason game. The
Yeah,
rookies and they play the whole game.
yeah, but you gotta remember, um, this damn fly is annoying. You gotta remember though, since Cam is the number one pick, he would be considered a starter.
Mhm.
So they wouldn't play him as much in that third game. But Shador, since he's a fourth, the number five on the roster, he would get a bunch of burn in that third game. So they probably wouldn't even play against each other unless Shador started the game, which he probably won't.
Well, yeah. You can't do the comparison battle that they always
Yeah,
do.
you're never gonna really it's gonna be hard to get them on the field when you got a number one and you got a number 4 or 5.
I'm
It's
trying
gonna
to
be
think now.
super hard.
It's gonna be if it's like how it was like last year. I remember it was a beautiful schedule. Sunday night game. It was the Falcons against Washington. You had Penix against Daniel, which was a great game, by the way.
Yes.
We just gotta. I mean, I guess you gotta let the stars align, and 'cause I know Cleveland's facing the Titans this year. I
Yeah.
know they are,
So
but
what I'm hoping happens, well, I'm gonna let you know right now. If you a gambling man, take the Giants in all 3 preseason games to win. Because preseason doesn't go off of talent. Preseason goes off of quarterbacks and who has the deepest quarterback room. And I make a lot of money in the preseason because I know I watch a lot of college. So
mhm.
you pretty much just go with the deepest team, the team that have the deepest roster and the team that has the most young players that gotta make the team. Preseason's just way easier than the regular season
Yeah,
in terms of betting. You got Russell Wilson who's going to start the game. Then you got Jameis Winston coming in. Then you got Danny DeVito coming in, who's probably going to be going against your fourth and fifth string. And then you got Jackson Dart coming in, going against the worst players you got.
shit. Hey,
So
shit,
it
you make me
should
feel
be
good for the preseason at least.
they should be undefeated for the preseason.
At least. But again, shout out to Travis Hunter. All right, and since we talked about it, you brought this up. Whoa. Why do you think teams keep moving off of Russell Wilson? Before you answered that, I had to do this. These are his stats. These are his stats. And the reason I put his stats on there is because out of these stats, I only see 2 bad seasons. And it's not because of his yardage. It's touchdowns and interception ratio. And both of them was 11. That's the most he's thrown. It's 11 interceptions a season. That's 2016 with the Seahawks. He threw 4,000 yards. And of course, with the first season with Denver, we only threw 16 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Whoa. It is something that we're not seeing when it comes to Russell Wilson.
I'm going to be totally honest with you from an outside, just my opinion. There's no facts to this whatsoever. I don't think football's his first love
It's not.
anymore.
No, it's not. I'll tell you that
And
right now.
that's a problem when you are on an NFL team. You have to love football because that's the only way you're going to give it your all. Yeah, you could show up for work and you could work hard, but in terms of giving it your all, you got to love it. And I don't think he's at a point in his life where he loves it nor needs it. And I think when he's with these teams, I think it might show a little bit.
So knowing Russell from his college days, to his pros, football was never his first love. Baseball was.
Yeah.
Baseball was. But it became he became passionate about it, especially his first couple of years. Because one,
He
we
became
said
passionate
on
because
him.
he was winning.
Not even that. No. And before that, well, of course, that's going to keep you going. But before then, this dude outplayed in his rookie year, outplayed a guy that a team went and got.
Matt Flint.
Over,
That was his name. I've been trying to remember his name forever. Matt
who?
Flint.
Matt Flint from the Packers. Got him. Matt Flint got paid off for one game. Let's keep it real.
Matt Flint got paid off for Thanksgiving game.
One game. Right. But he outplayed them, became starter, which changed their franchise. We know the rest is history. Where I think either, and again, this is opinion. We're not going by rumors. This is our opinion, and I'm not saying it's her fault. Once that man starts smashing Sierra, it's like, I mean, dude. I mean, I'm not saying Sierra is the bad luck charm shit. Nigga, you got babies about her. You love all this stuff. But
that man whole life changed when he started.
Right. Like, yo, you're
it's not in a bad way in his life. It's just a bad thing for football.
You see it. I mean, you saw it when he signed the contract with Denver. I saw it right then and there. I was like,
they said he wanted his own office and all kinds of crazy shit. Like I said, it's something because if you look at the coaches that are moving off from him, these are Hall of Fame coaches.
bro,
Sean Payton, you got Mike Tomlin, you got like these dudes are moving off of him, and it's not even like he's making a lot of money. Like they're getting a bargain for him,
right?
As in terms of being a starting quarterback.
And
so,
I'm like I said, he's producing on the field. It's not like
he's 4,000 yards is not nothing to sneeze at.
No. So we're not. These are his career numbers, people. 46,135 yards, 350 touchdowns to 111 interceptions, 99.8 rating, QBR career. So it's not like he's not producing. So it's more to the story of why he's getting. Then there, I gotta say, fucking foreign mills bargains instead of getting, hey, we want you here for 2-3 years numbers. So maybe I don't know how the Giants gonna talk about this. If he'll have a good year or he's just there to mentor, whatever, because he still got Winston behind him.
I think the Giants messed up when they signed him and Wilson. And the reason I say that is because next year's draft is supposed to be a stronger draft quarterback-wise.
Yeah.
Do they actually believe Dart is the quarterback of the future, or did they draft him in that position because he was the best available for them? And they knew they was under pressure to draft a quarterback. Honestly, I thought they was under more pressure last year to draft a quarterback than this year. Because last year, what they have, the number 6 pick, I think?
We was, I want to say we was under pressure last year to the point of they really believed in Daniel Jones, which I still don't understand why.
Nah, but that's what I'm saying. They already told everybody they was moving off for Daniel Jones after last season. They already made that clear that they didn't really even want to start him. They was just going to play him because he was there. But when he was in that after he got the contract and he played real horrible and got hurt, that's when I thought they was going to draft a quarterback. That's when Penix was available. That's when J.J. McCarthy was available. Like Bo Nix was available. Like that's when I thought they was going to draft the quarterback that year instead of taking Neighbors. So I thought they would draft the quarterback that year.
If you think about it, the names you say, like the only person I think that we had an opportunity to get because it's videotape document that his own fucking son told him to get him was was Jaden
They
Daniels.
wasn't gonna get Jaden Daniels
Right.
because you had to move up to number 2 to get him, and there ain't no way on hell that Washington was gonna let you
Zero.
move up to number 2.
Not for the Giants.
Not for nobody with
So,
Jaden Daniels there, because they always thought Jaden Daniels should have been the number 1 quarterback coming off the board and not Caleb Williams. But it's possible they could have moved up in front of the Patriots. I don't know. But Bo Nix to me was ready to play because of his age and how much he
yeah,
already played in college.
yeah.
JJ just coming off a championship in college, played under Jim Harbaugh, so he knows NFL playbooks and how to play in the NFL system.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would have been the year that they would have taken a quarterback instead of this year when the class was much weaker. But then again, every year they say next year's class is going to be stronger than the year prior. So they could have been thinking, everybody was saying Ewers and all these dudes was going to be top 3 picks and top 5 picks. So maybe they had all their eggs in one basket thinking about Shador.
I mean, that's what everybody. So Shador, like I said, I remember I was actually getting in a debate to the point I was like with people because I said what I said. Like Shador is not going to be a Giant. If you're a Giant fan, you know your Giant history. We had
they're not drafting no black quarterback in the first round. That's crazy.
I don't care who's in the office. We had a black GM. He never drafted a black quarterback first round. It don't matter. Jay, let me and also educate on y'all on this. College players don't have that much stroke to get drafted. Unless their game, their gameplay, Heisman, all this and that shit. They can't just say, oh, that team go draft me. That team go draft me because I put a fucking shoe on that said New York on it. Okay? Yeah. It's not going to happen. So
I think if he had a better interview with them, they might have thought about it. Or maybe not in the first round, but second round or something like that. I think they would have thought about it. And then Pittsburgh, I think they would have taken him if Aaron Rodgers didn't do that sucker shit and tell them if they draft him, he's not going to sign with them, which if I'm them, I would have been fine with that.
I still was that real or not? Like, I know
I could see it happening because if you think about it, he don't want to go nowhere where it's going to be a competition or it's going to be a whole lot of hype on a specific player. He just wants to go there and be the man, even though he's 41. He don't want to have to earn it. He don't want to have to work hard. Right now, he's in a situation where there's nobody behind him that he has to worry about. Right. They signed Shador. He's guaranteed he ain't getting a second contract.
And if they would have signed him with Aaron Rodgers, this would probably would have changed Aaron Rodgers' fucking his image a little bit. Like, now you can mentor somebody. You're already getting mentored by Tom Brady, and y'all got the winning quarterback and a talent quarterback.
The problem with y'all going forward for this year, though, you're not going to be able to really get a great evaluation on Dart because of who you have in front of him.
Right.
Unless you trade Jameis Winston or something, like the Saints need him and the players are asking for him.
I'm sorry, but that man's having a good camp. You're not getting
He's having a great camp. I told you my opinion. I think he's the best quarterback on your roster right now.
And
which is saying a lot.
We're saying a lot and also saying a lot about Dabo. Also saying a lot about Dabo. Like, we talked about how Dabo is what he could do with quarterbacks. You call him the quarterback whisperer. He must be whispering some good shit to Winston right now.
The only thing he has to do is cut down on his turnovers. He will get you a high volume of yards thrown through the air. He was in Cleveland throwing for 300 yards last year in certain games. Like Cleveland, bro, all he had was Jerry Jeudy and the tight end.
I was just talking about this shit last night with my boys. I said, James Winston, this is what scares me about him because it was that Monday night game against Denver. This man looked like fucking all-pro throwing the shit. And when I was so excited. Then I said one thing, he threw a pick six. I was like, that's what you got to get rid of.
See, and that's what Dable specializes in. Because if you look at what he did with Josh Allen, Josh Allen was horrible with turnovers before Dable got there. Dable got there, he cut him down. Dable left, he's back to turning the ball over again. If you Dable is good at getting quarterbacks to not turn the ball over. Look what he did with Daniel Jones. He was leading the league in turnovers before Dable got there. Dable ended up playoffs. What was he, 14-6 or some shit like that in interceptions to turnover ratio? So Dable is good at getting turnover prone quarterbacks to stop turning the ball over as much. So if you can get and Jameis Winston ain't old as Russell in him. He's still fairly young in terms of quarterback years. So if you can get Jameis Winston to not turn the ball over and throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns like he did in Tampa, that would be it. That offense would go crazy.
That's Pro Bowl numbers.
That
Let's
offense would go crazy.
talk about
And
this guy.
you got weapons, you got Neighbors, you got Robinson, you got Stace Tracy, like you got shit for him to play with over there.
As a Giant fan, we'll see. We'll see. Let's talk about this guy. We already named him. He said, "I'm pretty sure this is it. I played 20 years. What better place to finish than in one of cornerstone franchises of the NFL?"
He's
Is
saying
this
what
his
he
last
gotta
year?
say.
Bullshitting us.
He's saying what he gotta say because
Somebody called
you
you.
there?
Somebody called you.
Hello?
Yeah. Oh, can't hear you. Can you hear me? Nope, can't hear me. Can't hear you. You gotta. Anyway, he's going crazy over it. This man said he got 20 years.
Yo,
Come back on and come back in. This man said he got 20 years. He did 20 years. He want to retire. He's like you said earlier. He's saying the right things.
that's all he doing is saying the right things. He did not want to go to Pittsburgh. He doesn't want to play in Pittsburgh. He wanted to probably stay. He wanted to stay with the Jets or the Giants. He was begging them to take him. And he really wanted to go to Minnesota so he could play against his old team twice a year because he knows everybody in that conference, in that division.
Well,
So Pittsburgh is just the only thing he had available. It's kind of like the Jets. He didn't really want to go to the Jets. They just sold him on a bunch of shit. It'll be your team. You can bring over any coach you want, any player you want. Like, we just really need you. He didn't want to go there. He was never excited to be a Jet.
I want to say that's not happening in Pittsburgh, but at
That's
least
what I'm saying.
you get one little thing. You get to face your old team. I think in Lambeau.
You think he really give a shit about that?
What
he wanted to be on the team of his choosing, and he couldn't do that.
Nah.
Because the team, like he wanted, when he got traded to the Jets, he wanted to get traded to the 49ers. The only problem was Purdy was playing good, and LaFleur wouldn't let it happen because Shanahan tried to trade for him before we drafted Purdy. And LaFleur, that it kind of messed up the relationship him and Shanahan had because Shanahan didn't tell him that he was trying to get him. So the Niners wanted him at one point, but the Packers was like, hell no, we're not trading him to one of our playoff rivals. Y'all keep beating us in the playoffs. Now we're gonna give you a quarterback to help you do it.
That been dope.
So they told him hell no, because he grew up a Niners fan, so he always wanted to play for them.
That was his team, but just couldn't beat your team. Shout out to C.J. Mosley, announced retirement after 11 seasons.
He is always hurt the last few years. He just can't stay healthy.
Nah, I mean, good. I mean, I'm not gonna call you. I definitely will never call you a bust.
He had a great career. Great career when he was healthy.
Yeah, great career. Shout out to you. We got this. We the last two things. We have a conversation started right here. Conversation. All-time receiving touchdown leaders. The reason why I brought this up because on another podcast, I forgot what they call it now, but we had Marshall, we had Deshaun Jackson, Pat-Man Jones. And no one people was naming receivers, and I did not hear none of these guys on the bottom half. Of course, you're gonna hear about Jerry Rice. Of course, you're gonna hear about Randy, T.O., Chris Carter. Hell, they didn't even mention Marvin Harrison. But what do you say about this list right here? First of all, before we get into it,
Who's that next to Fitzgerald?
that's Antonio Gates. That's Tony Gonzalez and Mike Evans and Adams. Actually, the only two active players on this list.
Are they judging this list off of talent or just touchdowns?
No, just touchdowns. Just touchdowns. These are the actual touchdown numbers.
Okay. Well,
But
let's start with nobody's catching Jerry. Well, the way they throw the ball now, anything's possible.
right. But you gotta for that to happen, all the
stay
touchdowns
healthy.
they throw gotta go to you.
You gotta stay healthy.
And that too. It's 17 games now. And all
I think those bottom two are gonna move up this year. I think they'll both pass. Well, no, because he gotta catch 8 for him to pass Gonzalez, and he gotta catch 11 to pass Gates. I don't think they Evans might pass or might catch or pass Gonzalez, but that's about it in terms of moving up for this year. Even though Adams will probably get a lot of balls, I don't know if he'll get a lot of touchdowns. He might get 7, maybe 8. If he does that,
I don't know. He's a Ram. This is what Stafford's last year.
yeah, Puka's their focus though. Puka is their guy, and then they run the ball in the red zone with Williams a lot, which is also a smart move because he's a talented running back.
I mean, I see. Yeah, I definitely see him going past Gonzalez though. I don't know about Gates.
Yeah, Gonzalez is doable. Plus, I think Adams gonna play a couple more years. Evans too, so they'll pass those two. They might even pass Fitzgerald. I'm surprised Julio didn't have more touchdowns.
No, I think he was more about yards.
I am shocked Julio didn't have more touchdowns.
In fact, Julio did not go past 90 touchdowns. I think he's in the 80s.
That's crazy.
This is shocking.
It's somebody that unstoppable.
Right. So the conversation, right, was now I just put the touchdowns on here, but it was about touchdowns. It's about a make or break touchdown. Like, I'm going to throw it. If I got to throw it to a guy for a game-winning touchdown, who would I throw it to? Of course, they said the top 5. Well, at least the top 4 out of the 5. They like I said, they didn't say Marvin Harrison. Of course, you're going to say one of the dangerous hand the ball catchers in Chris Carter. Of course, you're going to say the toughness going across the middle of T.O. The Moss, why we call it Moss, Randy Moss, and then you have Jerry Rice who turned a 5-yard pass.
If I had to throw to somebody and it was everything in the world, my life was on the line, I'm taking Megatron.
He's not on this list, and that's
crazy. I understand, but
I'm with you.
If I gotta pick a receiver, just not somebody that's just on the list, but a receiver, I'm taking Megatron.
Yeah. I mean, just listen, bro. I told somebody.
But on this list, I gotta go with Randy because you can triple team him, and he's coming down with it.
I told somebody this, and I show my age again. We watched football a long time. I have to say this though. Before there was Megatron in Detroit, there was Herman Moore.
Yeah.
Herman Moore did almost the same thing, just throw it up, he'd jump over, right? So, but the term Moss, and then they never called it Moss until Moss did it. So Moss is all right, listen, if it's 4th and goal at the 6-yard line, they're stopping my run, I gotta go fade, it's all day Moss. But if I need somebody, I gotta throw it in the trenches, in between traffic, I'm going to T.O. And the game I'm talking about, you might know the game I'm talking about against the Packers.
Against the Packers.
That man was dropping the ball all day.
Out of this top 10, I think that tough over the middle, it's either between him and Fitzgerald. Fitz was a big dude, bro, and he came down with you. He's coming down with it 1-on-1.
Fitzgerald, when it comes to like the middle, I don't think no one ever got a chance to crack him because he was that fast.
You know who I would probably say is the toughest out of all of them, but ain't on this list? Anquan Boldin.
Anquan Boldin was. Let me tell you something.
He was Debo before Debo.
Between him, and I think his name was David Boston.
Yeah, Boston was a beast from Arizona.
Right, those two was jacked. They was jacked.
Oh, they're just solid as hell. Like, you try to run into him if you want to.
Right. Anquan could jump over.
Anquan was just bullying dudes, shocking them.
Anquan, I mean, when he was a Cardinal, I think his first game he showed you that shit. Florida State, great. He goes to the middle, bounce off of linebackers, not corners, linebackers.
Like he's one of the toughest dudes ever played football at receiver.
So that's another reason why I got this list on here. So they had another conversation about receivers that don't get mentioned. They named
it's a million of those.
Well, they named some good ones though. They said Derek Mason.
Yeah.
They named who was it? It was Derek Mason.
Yeah, you got Isaac Bruce who don't really get named. You got Torrey Holt who don't really get named. There's a million receivers that's supposed to be on a list like this, but these dudes accomplish what they accomplish. You can't take nothing away from them.
Especially
where is Kelsey at in terms of touchdown catches? I wonder.
I think he's right below Evans. I could have sworn he just got his 100th touchdown last year.
Yeah, if he plays another year, he could move up a little bit.
Right. And
I don't think he's going to move into the top 10, though, because Evans and Adams is going to get more this year.
The fact that Shannon Sharp not on here, we're talking about tight ends, like Tony Gonzalez, just his Kansas City numbers was off the chain. And the way he did in Atlanta his last few years. Antonio Gates, those two right there, those was basketball players.
Yep.
And they use their basketball players to fuck their basketball skills.
Post you up.
Bro. So, don't get it twisted now. This list will change within the 5 years. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be happy what I'm about to say.
Jefferson will be on there. It's a bunch of dudes.
Oh no, I'm gonna tell you, gonna be on there. Kittle's gonna be on there.
He's on his way.
Healthy, Kittle's
He's definitely gonna be first ballot.
Oh yeah. Kittle's and Kelsey is keeping it tight end university as they call it now. They are doing that right now.
And then they're gonna pass the torch to Bowers, that kid from Arizona, McBride. They're gonna pass the torch to them two next.
Yeah, man. So we talked about this list, but now we're gonna get to something that we gotta talk about. What's happening this year? We're gonna do our predictions, our last segment for the night. Our predictions of who is going to win these divisions. And shut up, because I already know you're gonna say 49ers because y'all fucking schedule. So, but you're gonna explain why more in depth why. But let's go to the AFC first. AFC, they got the North up here.
I can't see the division. I can't see the Ravens not winning that division. They got the best team on both sides of the ball. They had a pretty good draft, and they just run the ball down your throat for the most part, which sets up the easy passes.
Hopefully, if Alexander stay healthy,
if they can stay healthy, they got the best team in that division.
Yeah, I might have to agree with you on that because I'm sorry, I don't see 41 Aaron Rodgers. Hell, I might have to quote myself, but this might be their first losing season. Still is in a long time.
It's
By a game.
possible. I don't
By,
think they go backwards. I don't think they go backwards with Aaron Rodgers
I'm
though.
just by a game though. I'm gonna say they're gonna be 8-9, if anything. The Bengals, y'all
I
did not
think
improve
they
your defense at all. Cleveland, y'all gonna just be, you
they're
know,
in quarterback hell. They can't figure out what they want to do yet.
who Cleveland?
Yeah.
I was gonna say y'all just gonna be selling tickets. This season's not about winning.
They're
It's
not
about
even
selling
gonna be
tickets.
selling. They're gonna be selling Shador jerseys.
That might be the
If
next
they're
and
not
only.
gonna start him, they need to just trade him.
That might be the only Cleveland jersey I get. I got Jim Brown in here, so I can get the Sador jersey. Um, the South. What we going for the AFC South?
Gotta be Houston. They're the only team with stability in that entire conference. I mean division.
I might surprise you.
You know who you got at quarterback. You got a plethora of receivers. You got a
And running back.
plethora of running backs, and your defense was already top 10.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
Colts are starting Danny Dimes.
No.
Lawrence has not lived up to anything, and
Please tell me.
you got a rookie in Tennessee.
Please tell me you think they're gonna start Danny Dimes?
Absolutely, he's been killing on whatchamacallit in camp. Number one and number two, he's always hurt. He's still coming back from injury. Danny Dimes the only one that's been there.
Oh shit. And that was. I hope y'all ready for this. Well, he can run. He can tell you he can run. Unless he trips. Houston is the favorite. Like you said, Houston is a complete team. But I'll be surprised with Jacksonville. I'll be surprised.
I'd be shocked. They don't have a good they don't have a good defense. They don't really have a great offensive line, and you got a quarterback that's coming off an injury. Yeah, I like Hunter being there, but is that enough?
Well, we see because I mean, if Lawrence is healthy, him and their his receiver from last year from
And then you
LSU,
gotta look at their schedule and see who they playing.
that too, that too. So right there, like that's 6 games right there. So
I'd say they're the second best team in that division, but then again, I like the coach for the Colts. I like the defense for the Colts, and I like the run game for the Colts.
yeah,
So all Danny gotta do is not fuck it up too bad. They got a chance to win some games, and an
you
easy.
know, but you know how that's how to do that. You gotta go old school football. You gotta run the ball.
And they got Jonathan Taylor, so they can run the
Yeah,
ball.
you gotta run the ball.
But they lost a couple of pieces on that O line. That's the only thing that worries me. And didn't they get a tight end in the draft?
Yes.
Didn't they get that kid from whatchamacallit? The
Once
good
you got
kid.
Penn State,
Yeah, they got the Penn
yeah.
State kid. So they got some things going on over there. You got two good receivers. Now you got a tight end, you got a stud running back. So they might not be as bad as you think.
Uh,
You got a good head coach though, and that's the other thing. They owner died, so you got to figure out if they got
yeah, you
good
got
owners.
motivation.
You
You got
got
motivation.
his three daughters running the show now. Gotta see what kind of owners they are.
Right. We're going from the south to the east. Is it still Buffalo's division?
Absolutely. Everybody's so excited about the players the Patriots picked up. Everything looks good on paper and everybody looks good in pajamas. You got to get on the field and do something with it. You didn't trade your backup quarterback because he was a bum. You traded him because he was competition for your number one quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, you got a problem.
You knew he was going to take that starting spot.
You know he had the chance to.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
Well, for Buffalo, all right. Listen, ain't Jet fans gonna watch this later. I'm not shitting on what y'all got going on there, but Fields has not. Fields has
Cannot
not.
throw. He's a running back
Yeah.
he's a run. He killed it in college. He was throwing his ass off in college. He came to the NFL and forgot how to do it.
No, he had no choice. He was running for his life. Chicago was not blocking. So then you go to Pittsburgh. You seem like you forgot how to be a quarterback in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You like fuck it. I'm just gonna manage just to be just to say the win.
Your
Now you
receivers
got
are
opportunity to start this shit over.
the receivers are pissed.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
they stats is going down because you their quarterback.
Well, let's put it like this. You do got a reunion going on here. You got a Buckeye reunion, him and Wilson. So
Man, I'm praying at this point in life. I'm just praying the Niners do the trade with Miami and go ahead and get
Khalid.
Tyreek for Ayuk. Get him out of there.
Wait a minute.
I'm so tired of him crying.
When we get to NFC West, you gotta explain to me what the hell's going on with him because you just told me that. So we saying Buffalo definitely gonna stay there. Buffalo, but the division is not the final piece. All right, you gotta find a way to get over this little hump called the AFC West.
They got to get over this hump called Mahomes, not the AFC West. They got to get over this thing called Mahomes.
That's what I'm getting there, brother.
It ain't even nothing else but Mahomes.
A team that's in the AFC West, the defending AFC champions.
He owns them motherfuckers, man.
The Chiefs.
God damn.
The Chiefs.
I'm taking the Chiefs until the Chiefs lose the division. I'm never going against them. I don't care what none of these other teams do.
So okay. All right.
I love the Broncos. The Broncos are going to the playoffs. They're going to make some noise. They are not the Chiefs.
Okay. Since we done with the AFC, who's the strongest division and what team's going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl?
The strongest division is the West by far.
By far.
You got the Chargers, you got Kansas City, and you got the Broncos coming out of the West.
Mm-hmm.
By far. It's not even, I mean, the North is great, but the West by far. Harbaugh, they got the best coaches. That's across the board, they got the best coaches. You got Peyton, Carroll, Reed, and Harbaugh. And Harbaugh's just getting started.
Yeah.
He had the number one. Well, didn't they have like the number one scoring defense last year? Like he's just getting started, and he better make some noise this year because this is guaranteed to be Mike Mentor's last year as a defensive coordinator. He's gonna get a head coaching job next year,
bro. And when it comes to coordinators, and especially if they like the top 3 in their respective job, their head coach. That window for head coach has opened up for them to go through. So you said the AFC West. It's got to be. I guess you're going to say it's Kansas City. That's going to be favorite
all day. It'll be for me. It'll be Kansas City and then Denver and then the Chargers.
So who's going to represent AFC in the Super Bowl?
Now, that's a different story. It's right now. It's between all the people that I said was the division leaders: the Ravens, Houston, Buffalo, or Kansas City. It's going to be one of those 4.
I can't go against Kansas City until someone knocked them off.
Yeah, I gotta see it to believe it. Like their team isn't as good as it has been. They don't have Tyreek. But if you think about it, you're getting back. What's their receiver name? Rasheed. Was it Rasheed Rice?
Yes.
You're getting back Rasheed Rice at receiver. You got Worthy. You bringing back old ass Kelsey. Like,
and they just drafted a speedy
guy. Drafted another speedy receiver, and you still got Hollywood Brown. So they're coming back with nothing but speed at receiver. They built up the running back room a little bit. Like, you're gonna get a fully healthy Pacheco next year. Like, bro, their offense is gonna be back. They were people forget that they were hurt last year, but now their offense will be back to normal, and they added a couple of speedy pieces. So you're gonna have to do something with them.
The crazy thing is they found a way to win. So if they don't need to find a way to win, they are already dangerous already. So all right, that's AFC.
They should have lost half them games last year, but that champion pedigree.
They should have been swept by the Broncos.
Pedigree.
They should have been swept by the Broncos. That game,
absolutely.
God damn. Let's go to NFC. NFC North. Oh, this should be good. Can Detroit repeat?
You're gonna be surprised, but I think the Vikings win the North.
I'm not surprised.
I think the Vikings win the North because of what they did in the offseason was impressive.
All
They
season,
got the O line, the D line, they went in.
the draft.
They went in.
Yeah.
They got everything they needed.
Not to say the
And they already led the league in sacks before this. You went and got better on defense.
so we don't see Detroit
I
replaying.
think the biggest loss for Detroit was their center. I think losing their center was the biggest was is Ragnar. I think that losing their center to retirement was their biggest loss. And then both coordinators. Because if you look at what happened with the Eagles when they lost both of their coordinators after the Super Bowl, they took a huge step back.
Right.
Well, they started out strong, but then towards the end, it was just chaos.
Yeah,
They lost
they ran
like,
out of gas.
yeah, after the Niners broke them, they lost like 10 straight or some shit. Like it was over for them. So losing both coordinators is hard to get over by itself.
Mm.
Then you lose your starting center too, and he was like the biggest piece of your O line. That's not easy to fix. So I got them taking a step backwards this year. I don't have them taking a leap forward or even staying as good as they were. I got them going backwards one step.
And how about the Packers in Chicago?
I never believed in the Packers or Chicago, so that's an easy one for me. Packers will be 3, Chicago will be 4. I'm not as sold on Jordan Love as everybody else is. He had like a 6-game run, but y'all forgetting all the games before that. Like, and then last year he didn't look good when he was healthy. He wasn't impressive last year. So I'm not looking at him like he's a savior of the team. They gave him all that money and that was it.
Mm.
I don't think he's that guy. And Caleb, I still don't think Caleb is what they making him out to be, even though he had one of the worst coaching staffs last year. I don't know if he's who they think he is. I gotta actually see it. And he was a rookie last year. I understand that. But I've seen plenty of rookies have success on bad teams, and he didn't have a bad team. He
No.
came into the league with weapons across the board. They drafted you a receiver in the first round. You got a running back. You got 2 or 3 tight ends. Like they gave that man the world.
They gave him the keys to the fucking castle.
And when you watch him play, he's holding the ball too long. He's not reading the defense well. Like it's the shit that he wasn't doing right this year wasn't things that it wasn't things that you're taught. It's things that you should have already as a quarterback.
Right.
And he didn't have that.
I mean, don't get it twisted now, because that during that winning streak they had before that Hail Mary, he was actually getting better.
He looked okay, but when you watch them games, like the shit he's doing out, he's holding the ball too long. He thinks he has all day to throw, and he doesn't. He's got to get the ball. He's not reading the defense right, and he's second guessing his throws instead of just letting it fly. So hopefully his new head coach can fix that. If not, it's gonna be a long season.
Number one, if ain't rookie quarterback. Again, we are fans, but we can see something that y'all probably don't see. You only got at max 3 seconds to make the right decision.
In real life, it's 2.
so because it's faster in NFL. It's not like college.
You gotta let it fly, baby. You gotta trust the play that your coach designed.
Right.
I don't think he trusted the plays.
Well, we'll see. We got the Vikings for the North. I like that one. With the South,
ain't nobody beating Tampa in the South. I don't care how you look at it.
Tampa?
Tampa is number 1 in the South. Tampa's better than half these other teams.
I'm saying, the reason why I like Tampa because my boy, Mr. Chip on the shoulder, Baker Mayfield.
Bro, they drafting receivers. They drafting receivers in the first round and don't even need receivers. Like they are making sure that their offense is going to put up numbers. And he already, what was he, number 2 in the league in passing yards last year or some shit like that?
I
He was number like Baker. If it wasn't for Baker's schedule, his record, Baker had better numbers than Lamar last year. He had better numbers than Josh. He should have won MVP last year. The way he played last year, if you look at his numbers, he had more touchdown throws than Lamar,
Well, yeah.
and he had more yards.
That's like the same thing. Well, that's almost like the same thing we said about Burrow. Burrow had better numbers than.
Well, Burrow should have won MVP period last year, but I'm talking about over the guys that won it. Baker was number 2 behind Burrow in terms of yards and and touchdowns and pass, all of that. He had the best stats behind Burrow. Burrow couldn't be touched last year. I don't understand how he wasn't even in the conversation.
Oh, he was.
Just because he was on a trash team.
Yeah. So we don't. All right. So we said Buccaneers, but out of the rest of the division, I don't know.
Why is everybody so high on the Falcons?
I
understand you have Drake London, who's a solid receiver. He's not in my top 10. I like him, but I wouldn't have him top 10. You have a running back that y'all still haven't figured out how to use, which I don't understand.
Just give him the fucking ball.
Just give him, but they not. For some reason, they not. You got a tight end who has been up in trade conversations for the last 3 years. Who's a talented receiver that don't block.
Pitts?
But yeah, Pitts.
Yeah.
But everybody's so high on them. I don't like your O-line. I don't like your defense. You overdrafted at defensive end 2 guys that I don't think I would have taken where you took them.
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand you trying to fill the need. But there were better people at that time that you could have taken over those 2 guys. I just don't get the hype about the Falcons.
Only thing why you saying all that? The only thing I could think of is because a full season with Penix.
Yeah,
that's about it. Again, I just stayed one of a good game he had, even though he lost, but it was a good game. He does give them some type of confidence, or at least stay in the fight type of shit, and that's all I think Atlanta wants right now, because I don't see playoffs in Atlanta.
Me either.
But to stay in the fight, that's something all right, we can stay in the fight. All we just need to find the right pieces so we can finally get over the hump. We have from Atlanta to Carolina. What's his name? Bryce. This is it, bro. This is it.
I don't think you're gonna be surprised at my next pick because of how much I talked about him all year. I don't think you'll be surprised, but I'm definitely taking Washington to win that division.
Ooh.
And the reason I'm taking Washington to win that division is because, number one, we both know in 22 years, they haven't had a repeat winner of that division. They haven't had nobody repeat in 20-something years. That's number one.
I want to try to think who the last team that actually repeat the division. I think the Eagles?
I don't know, but it ain't happening. First of all, you're going to have to deal with the Saquon, the Madden curse. I don't give a fuck what you say in life. The curse does not lose.
Yo, I just told that to someone yesterday. Because
when they come to running backs, the Madden curse is undefeated. Even if they don't get hurt, their production drops tremendously.
Well, yeah. Well, let's put the Madden curse aside. Anybody that runs for 2,000 yards, their very next year it's dropped to. I don't think the highest running back that got 2,000 yards the next year. I think the highest was 1,400.
Yeah.
So that's that. Because now you're talking about now I'm going to go put 8 in the box. If they see you in the game, they put 8 in the box. And I know coaches go out try to outsmart people, but it is what it is. He's not getting 2,000 this year. 2,000 total yards, yeah, but 2,000 rushing by itself, no.
So he's gonna be hurt, and I hate to see it, and I hate to say it, because I love him as a player. But that Madden curse, nigga, did you see what McCaffrey did the year before?
Yes.
He went stupid, running, receiving every touchdown. He had 20 touchdowns, 23 touchdowns or some shit.
I am
both Achilles because of the Madden curse.
I'm a huge McCaffrey fan. From college to Carolina to the Florida, I'm a huge. I loved his father. His father was a great receiver in the pros, but that Matt encouraged people. We not playing, especially those that play Matt, and y'all know this shit.
It's not something to play with. It is
Not.
it is a real thing.
I'm gonna tell you when it started too. The year Barry got the cover. You know what happened? Barry retired. You know what I mean? It don't matter if it's injury, if it's number production, something about that Matt encouraged for running backs. Now, quarterbacks, receivers might get away with it. I said might. But running backs, I'm sorry. I know it's this. I'm not trying to scare Eagle fans, but y'all be all right. Y'all be all right, I guess. You know, y'all still got Smith. Y'all still got Brown. And hopefully that push can help y'all out here and there. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I see either Eagles or Washington. Dallas.
I mean, it's gonna be between those two, but if I'm taking one, I'm gonna take Washington.
Fight for wild card. That's what Dallas gonna do. They're gonna fight for a wild card.
I think they're gonna make it.
Dallas a wild card?
I think they're gonna make it because you got Dak, you got CD, you got homie that they just got from the Steelers. I think they'll make it. They drafted like 2 running backs that I like. I think the Cowboys can make it. They got players coming back healthy.
And let me add this one. That history might repeat itself, so stay healthy.
Yeah.
You don't stay healthy. That man behind you just took your job. I'm telling you. No Tender is that dude. I'm telling you, he's that dude. My Giants just stay in the fight. That's all I'm going to say. Let's go to the West. We already know who you're going to say. So explain to people why. It don't bring up the y'all schedule because that's we know that already.
I think the Niners will win the division only because all right. So when you lose, nobody they write you off. They look at you like you trash now just because you had one bad season.
Yeah.
The last time we had an injury-riddled season, we went to the Super Bowl the next year with Garoppolo at quarterback.
Yep.
So, with that being said, I love the way that they retooled on defense through the draft. I love the fact that you're getting healthier on offense with McCaffrey. You get a full off season with Pearsall, Jennings, everybody together. Some of these young boys that they drafted and some that they got last year have stepped up in OTAs and look good. So I think a lot of teams are gonna write them off and not really pay attention to them coming out the gate. So they're gonna have a chance to sneak up on people this year. And I think more teams are gonna pay attention to the Rams compared to last year because last year was considered a rebuilding year by most of us. You know, they had lost a bunch of players. They were dependent on everybody in the draft to contribute, and they did. So now that everybody is seeing that, they're not going to get caught off guard when they play the Rams now. They're going to actually play them like they're a contending team and not a team that's in a rebuild. The Seahawks, I'm not concerned with the Seahawks, and I guess it's just me, but you're depending on a receiver that was your number 3 receiver to now be your number 1 because Metcalf and Lockett are gone. So you're depending on him to Smith-Jigba to be your number 1 receiver. You don't know if he can. You're hoping he can because he looked good as a number 3, but shit, so did Juju Smith-Schuster. And you see what happened when AD left. He couldn't handle being number 1.
Yeah, he got knocked on the ass.
So you got it. It's too many. They had a great draft. I love their draft. Their coach is a defensive coach. I like the offensive coordinator you brought in because you got him from San Fran, and you know that Darnold already knows the system because he was there the same time Darnold was there. So those are the pluses. I just don't see that big change in who the team is compared to who they were last year.
Are we talking about the Seahawks?
Yeah.
So now the one thing I'm going to say about the 49ers, and we talked about this many times on here, is that the people that they got rid of, they replaced during the draft. They also
And the ones they
signed.
got rid of was underperforming last year. So it's not even like they got rid
Yeah,
of people. It's not like they got rid of Fred Warner, who was the top linebacker in the league last year. You got rid of Greenlaw, who was hurt all season, Hufanga, who was hurt all season.
that crybaby linebacker y'all had that quit on y'all in
Yeah,
the middle of the game.
Campbell, his bitch ass,
But,
Devondre Campbell.
but see, that's another thing I was gonna say. And y'all made the right decisions of giving who what the money that they deserve.
Exactly. You kept
So
your core. You kept your core. You got Trent Williams, who's motivated, said he wants to play at least 2 more years. You went and got pieces for the offensive line, which you know you needed to fix. Like they did, and you went and got and your coaching staff. You went and got the best special teams coach in the league. You signed him. You went and got Salah back. You went and got Gus Bradley to be Salah's assistant. So you got two top defensive coordinators working together on the same staff. You promoted offensive coordinator to help with the play calling because the last game of the season they put up offensive numbers with him calling the plays, even
yeah,
though it was the last game of the season. You know what I mean? So they made all the right moves in the offseason. And then next year they're gonna have way all of that dead money that they got this year comes off the books next year. So they're gonna have, and they still got 50 million to spend. So they can still go out and get
get
whoever they want.
get somebody that's home right now, stuff like that. I mean, it's so
And the Super Bowl's in San Fran this year.
motivation. So and when it comes to the Rams, I think Matt said this shit. I think this is last year in the contract. So
Yeah.
he
You gotta pray he stay healthy. He ain't
that's
been
right,
proven he could stay
right.
healthy.
Because we don't know
Puka got bad knees.
who's his backup. Who's
Jimmy
man?
Garoppolo.
So you got that situation. Now, I said this on here. I said about the Cardinals. I think Murray, your window is closing. This is it, bro. Because I
I
mean,
don't think it was ever open.
it was open.
I haven't seen nothing out of them that makes me think that they're a contender.
It was open. He fucked it. Either he fucked it up, or everybody around him got hurt. I remember I don't know what year that was. Was it
That one
2020?
year when he tore his ACL when they was winning all them games in the early in the season.
Like it's yeah, his window's probably closed already. The
That's what I'm
Cardinals.
saying. Like
I don't know, man. But it's like they not getting no better.
for them to make the playoffs, they got to win the division because you'll probably get two playoff teams out of the North. You'll probably get you'll probably get the Bucks out of the South. You might get three playoff teams out of the East, and then you'll probably get two out of the West between the Rams and Niners. So
So
where do they fit in?
well, that kind of now you kind of answer my next question. What's the strongest division in the NFC? You pretty much said the East.
Oh, the NFC, I gotta say the East. It's gonna be between the East and the North, but
Well,
I'm gonna
last
say
year was
the
the
East.
North.
Oh yeah, last year was the North, but I'm gonna say the East this year because Washington went to the NFC Championship, Philly went to the NFC Championship, and I think Dallas will be a wild card team.
So compared to the rookie class from last year, you don't see no sophomore slump
For which team or which players?
for Daniel.
Oh, not even close. Not even a little bit
I
because
like I like Daniel.
you can't teach poise. Poise is something you either have or you don't have, and he had it from day one. Like he doesn't have highs and lows.
Right.
He's right here the whole time. So the only thing I could say that could derail success for him is if they try to put too much on him. Like last year with Purdy had to do a lot because we were so banged up. But before that, I think they got away from what made us us in terms of just smash nose, smash mouth defense and running the ball. I
Mm-hmm.
think they got too pass happy because they wanted Purdy to earn the contract or whatever, people were saying. But the year before that, when we went to the Super Bowl, Purdy did everything that they questioned. Can he come back in a big game? He came back in 2 playoff games. It don't get no bigger than that. He had the lead in the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes most of the game.
Right.
He had the lead against Mahomes most of the game. So I think Daniels takes a step forward. I think he'll be in the running for MVP next year.
Ooh.
I think he's gonna do some because I think in my opinion they put a better team around him. I don't know if Debo's gonna be the old Debo or what Debo can do anymore. They say he looked fat and slow in camp, but we're gonna see what happens. We can't judge it till we see it.
Right.
But
So
I think they put some pieces around him that are gonna work out.
So here's the next one. I guess you probably say the final question. AFC, NFC. Who's the surprise teams this year?
Surprise teams. Like I said, I think I'll take the Colts as a surprise for the AFC. And for the NFC, a surprise is hard because you expect the Bears to be better. You expect, like I said, for me, it's the Vikings to win that division. Nobody's expecting that. They expect the Lions to be the top dog.
Well, they didn't expect the Lions to be as good as they was last year either, especially as Sam Darnold was quarterback.
I'd probably say the Vikings.
See,
and of course the Niners.
Y'all gonna win the division.
Everybody think we suck, bro, because we was hurt. We getting everybody back.
My surprise teams for the AFC. Oh God, I might stick with the let's say the Broncos. The Broncos will be my surprise team.
They went to the playoffs. How they a surprise?
They got win the division.
Oh.
Like,
and the crazy part is I wouldn't even be that surprised if they did. They played the Chiefs. They played the Chiefs the toughest.
No. It's Kansas City. It's going, but I won't be. It's going. My surprise would be the Broncos will win that division. Now in the NFC is. I might have to go with the height with Atlanta. Like Atlanta's going to be the toughest competition that the Bucs gonna have next year in that division. Because the Saints did not.
Well, it's not. That's not hard to say though. You got the Panthers and Saints. It's
easy to say
they're going to be the toughest competition.
But
the Saints are going to be the worst team in the NFL next year.
Oh,
they are guaranteed to get the #1 pick next year.
Oh damn! See, I like with division games. This is what I love about division games. Most of the time,
the Saints might go 0-16 next year. 0-17. Sorry,
bro.
I'm serious. Who are they going to beat? Show me one team in the NFL that the Saints are better than right now.
Bro, harsh.
You got Alvin Kamara on offense, and what's their receiver name that can't stay healthy? Light-skinned kid.
Yeah.
You got him on offense. After that, who you scared of at receiver? Nobody. Who you scared of at tight end? Nobody. Who you scared of besides Alvin Kamara at running back? Nobody.
That's if he's healthy.
Then on defense, you got 2 decent safeties and whatchamacallit, but you ain't got no corners.
Oh man. Damn.
You got 1 good linebacker. Like they're gonna be the worst team in the league by far. Ooh. They will not win a game next year.
Fans watching.
You can't show me one team in the NFL right now that you can positively say the Saints are better than. They have no quarterback on their roster.
Wow.
Right? Neither one of the dudes that they got right now won a game last year that they started.
Oh, I forgot about that draft.
Ratliff was horrible. The other guy was horrible. Now you got the old dude that can't throw.
Did he try to do a sidearm? Oh, I'm done.
Bro,
anyway,
they are guaranteed to be the worst team in the league next year.
So the Saints is going back to the paper bags. That's what my brother said.
Well, they need to suck They need to suck if they're smart, because if they suck next year, they'll have the top pick and be able to get whichever quarterback they want in the draft, and then you can start rebuilding your franchise.
You know what quarterback they want?
Probably Archie Manning, of course. I mean, yeah, Manning kid.
Mm-hmm. That's what they want. That's what they
Why
want.
wouldn't they? Everybody's hyping him up. Let's see if he has a good year.
That's yeah. We got to really get into our college football. They haven't done no reports about college. I haven't seen nothing anyway. But bro, great show.
Yo, first game of the season, Ohio State versus Texas. I've never seen number one versus number two in the first game of the season before.
In Ohio or in Texas?
I don't know where it is. I just know that that's who's
Please
playing.
be a
It's
neutral
more. It got to be in Ohio because Ohio won the championship.
Oh
It got to
no,
be in Ohio.
be in the neutral site. Be.
They not doing that.
Well, both of them is Big Ten.
Yeah, they both in our division. It's
No,
gonna be
Texas.
that.
No, Texas. SEC now.
No, they moved to our division.
Texas?
I thought they did.
No, Texas. SEC.
You sure?
Yeah.
I thought Texas moved to us.
Texas don't want this.
I thought that was the reason. I thought that was the reason we played them last year.
No, we played them last year because remember that was like the second game of the season. We always play outside the conference, second, third game.
Okay.
The first 3 games is outside, then we play conference.
Okay. But yeah.
Texas. Yeah, Texas.
But yo, I'm praying that we trade Brandon Ayuk because I'm so sick of this cocksucker.
I hope that's not your closing comment.
Yeah, I'm so sick of this bitch. Bro, we paid you, bro. Why you still crying about trade rumors? You still on the team. Stop crying. You acting like a real hoe right now.
I'm sensitive, bro. That's how they are.
Nobody give a shit though, bro. Either move on or move on.
That's how it is with these.
I'm gonna keep it all the way funky with you. After he got signed and was playing, I think he was playing bad on purpose. I think he was thinking it up on purpose. Because he's never had drop problems. He was dropping everything.
I say that though. I say that with a lot of people. Like when they get paid, that's you gonna see how they really.
No, this ain't about him getting paid. I think this is about him not feeling like we wanted him and not feeling like he don't feel like we paid him what he wanted. So I think he signed it to get the money. But I think he's out there pretty much doing the bare minimum. He's dropping shit on purpose. I think he's doing all that shit on purpose because if you look at the way he's acting in the media, he does not want to be there. And he's hurt that they was thinking about trading him or not paying him and all of that shit. So he's hurt that he lost the negotiations.
Well, you need a man to fuck up.
Bro, he needs to go. I don't even care if he mans up because I think it's like a girlfriend cheating on you. Like, he ain't getting over that shit. It sounds like this is just hurting him forever.
Wow.
Tyreek Hill, I'm telling you, bust that move and bust that trade.
Tyreek was just in New York, so yay.
Bust that. I can't stand him as a person, but fuck it. Could you imagine Tyreek and McCaffrey on the same offense? And George Kittle?
No.
Then you'll start believing my Super Bowl predictions. Because think about it. I didn't send it to you earlier, but right now they have us in the top 3. They got us behind the Eagles and Lions to make it to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. They not doing that shit for fun. They know something we don't know.
Of course.
Come on, bro. All these other teams you got, and they got us in front of Washington. Washington just went to the NFC Championship.
We said on here, your schedule. You already named y'all paid the right people. Y'all had a good damn draft.
I can't wait. I want to see it. I want to see him play. And then we got that kid Huff from the Eagles. That was a big trade nobody really talked about. But the year he was under Saleh, he led the NFL in pressures in front of Micah, in front of all of them. He led the NFL in pressures that year.
No. I think you know what? I think of Carter. Carter. I know who you're talking about now. All right, bro. closing comments, because I know that was not your closing comments. Not talking about
Fuck
Brandon.
you, Ayuk. Those are my closing comments. You a bitch ass nigga, and we don't need you. Go fuck yourself.
Oh shit, bro. Oh well, while I got you on here, I'm gonna just let you know. I said this last episode. I'm gonna say why you on here now. Season two starts week 1 of the NFL. I'm gonna do a new fucking logo. Not logo, but new intro, because that one video of us talking about something with Detroit on is not gonna do. So season 2. Yes, we gotta.
We need to get together and do an intro.
Yes. If I gotta ride the Delaware, I will.
We'll get together and do an intro.
Yes, sir.
Happen.
Yes, sir. Bro, appreciate you. Of course, same time next week, same channel. You already know. All right,
Fuck
brother.
you, Ayuk.
That fucked up.
Man up, pussy.
Peace, Ayuk. Peace.
All right, bro.
All right, bro. So let me go here and get ready to do this. That was our 40th episode. Like I just said, season 2, first game of the season in the NFL, which we will be talking about next week. I hope there's a lot of sports news to talk about, because NBA is done. Baseball is still going. If you're into Canadian football, it's going. I just gotta find it now. It used to come on ESPN3. It don't come on ESPN3 no more. And any other sports news, trades, free agency pickups, WNBA. I'm going to get into that now. Shout out to the ladies. Anything sports related. You got 2 fans here, just giving our honest opinion. We're not reporters. We're not we don't have an interview. We're not lucky to interview nobody, but we just talk about sports. Join us live. I see a lot of views I get after the shows. Join us live. Join the conversation. Don't just watch the clips. Join us live. Join the conversation. Say what you guys say. Hell, one day you might come on with us and you can tell us how you really feel. But until then, that was my boy D Money. I am the enforcer, Mr. Attention Getter, and I will see you when I see you. Deuces.